In the rich tapestry of college football history, few stories capture the imagination quite like that of Howard Hopalong Cassady, a Columbus, Ohio native who became one of Ohio State's greatest legends. Born on March 2nd, 1934, in Columbus, Ohio, Cassidy's story begins in the shadow of Ohio Stadium. As a young athlete at the now closed Central High School, Cassidy showed early signs of the greatness that would later define his career. The stories I researched about Cassidy all stated that he earned his nickname Hopalong because of his first game against Indiana as a freshman at Ohio State in 1952. These stories are not correct. Here is a newspaper article from the Lancaster Eagle Gazette of Lancaster, Ohio, from December 8th, 1951, clearly referring to Cassidy with the Hopalong nickname. Here's yet another from December 8th in the Newark Advocate, where Cassidy is listed as part of the Associated Press All-Ohio team, listing him as Howard Hopalong Cassidy, Columbus Central's red-haired fireball. It's clear Cassidy made a name for himself in high school and then went on to Ohio State, where he became legend. Woody Hayes was in his second year as head coach of Ohio State at that time. And if you know nothing of Woody Hayes, which I find hard to believe, but I'm old, know this. Hayes was a tough son of a gun. He was all about hard work and fundamental physical football. He had to know what he had in Cassidy, and in fact plays him in the first game of his freshman season. Most of the articles out there read like Cassidy was just a surprise that happened to show up off the bench, and Woody Hayes wouldn't have played him if he didn't know what he had, if he didn't know what Cassidy was capable of doing. So the Buckeyes faced Indiana on September 27th, 1952. Cassidy gets in the second quarter as a true freshman, and he scores to put Ohio State ahead 13-7. And the game is tied 13-13 at half, and nobody scored in the third period. Cassidy scored another touchdown in the fourth quarter, and then another. And with about a minute and a half left to go, he intercepted a pass and ran it back to the Indiana 4-yard line, from where he scores on the very next play. He ended up with 3 touchdowns on the day, and while most of the articles present this as Cassidy exploding out of nowhere, it's clear, again, Hayes knows what he has, and Cassidy was bound to be a star from the moment he became a Buckeye. I wouldn't be doing a complete job of covering Cassidy without mentioning his namesake, Hopalong Cassidy. Who is he? And why the nickname? Hopalong Cassidy was a fictional character created by author Clarence E. Mulford, and he became one of the most iconic figures in American Western lore. First introduced in Mulford's 1904 stories, the character had been shot in the leg during a gunfight, which caused him to hop along, hence the nickname. Hopalong was originally portrayed as a rough-and-tumble cowboy with a penchant for hard living, quick temper, and even quicker reflexes. However, the character underwent a significant transformation when brought to the silver screen, becoming a clean-cut, morally upright hero who symbolized justice and integrity in the Old West. The cinematic version of Hopalong Cassidy debuted in 1935, portrayed by actor William Boyd. Boyd's depiction of Cassidy, often dressed in his signature black attire and astride his white horse topper, elevated the character to unprecedented popularity. In 1949, Hopalong Cassidy became one of the first Westerns broadcast on television, making Boyd a pioneer of the medium. The show's success sparked a wave of Hopalong merchandise, from lunchboxes to comic books, cementing the character as a cultural phenomenon. Hence the Hopalong nickname for Howard Cassidy, because nearly everyone notable then had a nickname, unlike now, when they've ceased to exist because everyone's worried about their brand. Howard Cassidy would help lead the Buckeyes to one of their most successful periods. From 1952 to 1955, the team compiled an impressive 29-8 record. The highlight came in 1954 when Ohio State achieved perfection, a 10-0 record in the national championship, the first of Woody Hayes' 5 national titles. It wasn't just Cassady's offensive prowess that made him special. In an era of two-way players, he excelled as a defensive back, and a remarkable statistic emerged. Throughout his entire college career, not a single pass was completed against him. So let that sink in for a moment. 4 years of college football. Remember, he started playing as a true freshman, and no receiver ever caught a pass with Cassady in coverage. The 1955 would prove to be Cassady's pinnacle year. He rushed for 958 yards and scored 15 touchdowns, earning him the Heisman Trophy by what was then the largest margin in the award's history. 2,219 points to next place finisher Jim Swank of TCU with 742 points. Cassidy also claimed the Maxwell Award for the best player of the year and was named the United Press Athlete of the Year. By the time his college career ended, he had accumulated 2,466 rushing yards and scored 37 touchdowns in 36 games, numbers that might seem modest by today's standards, but were remarkable for that era. After his collegiate career, Cassady was selected 3rd overall in the 1956 NFL Draft by the Detroit Lions. He would go on to play 8 seasons in the NFL, 7 with the Lions, helping them to win the 1957 NFL Championship. Cassidy made $14,500 in each of those first 2 years, giving him the most lucrative rookie contract in the league. But even as his professional career unfolded, his heart remained tied to Columbus. Following pro football, Cassady ran a concrete pipe business and then became a first base coach for the AAA Columbus Clippers, the farm club of the New York Yankees. Cassady had played baseball for 4 years at Ohio State, winning the Big Ten championship in 1955. Cassady's legacy at Ohio State was cemented in the year 2000 when his jersey number 40 was officially retired, joining the elite company of Archie Griffith and Vic Janowitz. When asked about this honor, Cassady, with characteristic humility, noted that the athletic department had actually retired his number years before, and this was simply making it official. He was elected to the College Football Hall of Fame in 1979. When he left Ohio State, he held school records for career rushing yards, all-purpose yards, and scoring. On September 20th, 2019, Howard Hopalong Cassady passed away at his home in Tampa, Florida, at the age of 85. His son Craig, who had followed in his father's footsteps by playing for the Buckeyes in the 70s, perhaps summed up his legacy best when he said, he was a Heisman Trophy dad as well. Tragically, Cassady would later be diagnosed with CTE, joining a growing list of football players affected by the condition. It serves as a sobering reminder of the physical toll the sport can take on its heroes, even as we celebrate their achievements. Howard Hopalong Cassady's story remains a testament to an era when college football was transforming into the cultural phenomenon we know today. His legacy lives on not just in the record books or in Ohio Stadium, where his number 40 hangs in perpetuity, but in the very fabric of Ohio State football history. He was, as Ohio State Athletic Director Gene Smith said upon his passing, an all-time great Buckeye in every way. The story of Hopalong Cassady, from his remarkable debut to his Heisman Trophy season, from his professional career to his decades of service to baseball in Columbus, represents more than just athletic achievement. It embodies the spirit of an era when college football heroes became larger than life, yet remained deeply connected to their communities. In the end, Howard Cassady wasn't just a football player. He was a symbol of excellence, perseverance, and dedication that continues to inspire new generations of athletes at Ohio State and beyond. This is John Johnston with Hardcore College Football History. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to this channel and tell your friends. And if you liked it a whole lot, please consider supporting me further on Patreon so I can make even better videos in the future. If you have suggestions about videos you'd like to see, please leave them in the comments. Thank you.